used to think wealth came from being clever online, picking the right stock, or starting the next big thing. But this book made me stop and look at something way less flashy. What if the fastest path to money is not sexy at all? What if it is the boring business on your street that already makes cash every month? That idea hit me hard because most people are chasing loud dreams. They want the app, the brand, the hype. But here is the deeper point. Boring can be beautiful when it pays. Codie Sanchez says the rich often buy things other people ignore. Laundromats, car washes, cleaning companies, plumbing firms. Small businesses that do not look cool, but keep working. I like this because it flips the usual money story. A lot of us think we need a huge breakthrough. This book says we may need ownership. And that shift matters more than people think. The first big shift in this book is simple. I do not have to keep selling only my time. That is the employee way of thinking. Work hard, earn more, repeat. There is nothing wrong with that, but it has limits. My paycheck stops when I stop working. A business you own can keep making money even when you are not in every task. That is why this idea feels so strong to me. I know what it is like to feel stuck in the cycle of effort with no real progress. You can be busy all day and still feel behind. Codie is pushing a different question. What can I own that pays me? Not just what can I do for money, but what can I buy that makes money? That is the heart of acquisition entrepreneurship. Not building from zero, buying something that already works. That is a big mental reset. And this is where it gets interesting. The book does not say, go start a business from scratch and hope. It says, look for one that already has proof. That means customers are already there. Money is already coming in. The system already exists. I think this is one of the smartest parts of the book, because starting from zero is hard. You have no demand, no track record, and no safety net. Buying an existing small business can lower some of that fear. You are not guessing if people want the service. You can see the numbers. You can ask how it runs. You can study what is working and what is broken. I like this because it feels more real than a lot of money advice. It is not magic. It is not a lottery ticket. It is a business with a roof, a customer base, and cash flow. That is a very different starting point. The book also gives a clear filter for what makes a good business to buy. I think this part matters because not every business is a good deal. The best ones are simple, stable, and needed. People always need cleaning. They always need plumbing. They always need storage, repairs, and maintenance. That is the kind of demand this book wants me to look for. Here is the easy test I would use. Does the business solve a real need again and again? Is it simple to understand? Does it work in a local area where trust matters? If the answer is yes, that is worth a closer look. This is not about chasing trendy ideas. It is about boring demand. That is the pattern break right there. The things people ignore are often the things that keep paying. I think that is why this book feels so useful. It trains my eyes to see value where most people see nothing. But finding a business is only step one. The next part is checking if it is actually healthy. The book treats this like detective work, and I love that image. I am not just buying a dream. I am checking the facts. Are the numbers real? Does the owner do everything? Or can the business run without them? Are the margins decent? Is there debt hiding in the background? That is what due diligence really means in plain words. It means looking carefully before I jump. I don't need fancy language for that. I need honesty. What stands out to me here is that the book respects risk. It is not saying buy anything and hope for the best. It is saying slow down, ask better questions, and do not confuse a good story with a good deal. That kind of thinking is rare, and honestly, it is refreshing. Another big point is that you do not always need all the money yourself. I think this surprises a lot of people. The book talks about tools like seller financing or bank loans, but the real lesson is deeper than borrowing. It is about using structure wisely. A good deal can sometimes be built with a mix of your own cash and outside money. That does not mean debt is harmless. It is not. It means ownership can be possible sooner than most people think if the business is strong and the numbers make sense. That balance matters. For me, this is where the book becomes practical. A lot of people feel shut out of wealth because they assume they need huge savings first. This book opens a door, but it also asks for discipline. Money tools can help, but only if the business itself can carry the weight. I think that is a very adult way to think about wealth. What I take from this book is not just buy a business. It is this: wealth often comes from owning useful things that make steady cash, not from chasing what looks exciting. That is a simple idea, but it can change how I see money. It changes how I see work, too. I do not have to build my life only on labor. I can also build it on ownership. The bigger lesson is clear to me. Boring does not mean small. Boring often means dependable, and dependable cash flow can change everything if I treat it with care, patience, and good judgment. So if I ever feel stuck in the same old money cycle, this book reminds me to look at the next layer. Not just income, not just hustle, ownership. If you want more clear and useful book breakdowns, subscribe to the 5-Minute Shelf. And for me, that is the real shift this book offers. Stop chasing noise and start looking for what quietly pays.